Hi, this is Mike Patterson from Sleep Can Wait. Today I just wanted to share a little tidbit regarding a gotcha that I found maybe about 6 weeks ago regarding deferred execution, which is related to LINQ, and method groups. So in order to demonstrate this, I've created a brand new internet MVC application. And let's go ahead and create an index view model for the index action. And just give it one property of IEnumerable int called foo's, and within the controller, within the action, we can instantiate our model, index view model. Then we will create a list of integers, new list. So typically, what we would do if we needed to filter is say var filtered foo's equals foo's dot where given f equals 2, for instance. Then we'll set the viewModel.foo's equal to filter foo's. Alright, so this is great. And one of the things that I'm really focusing on here is that the ReSharper gods are happy, right? Everything's green, which is something that I really like to focus on. Creating clean code is something I'm relatively passionate about. So this is a good file for me. It makes me happy to see that ReSharper is happy. So anyhow, we don't always end up with something so simple. Sometimes we end up creating delegates that will handle this type of thing. So in order to demonstrate this, let's create a foo filter and just add public bool is as a, and return true if a equals 2. And yet again, let's go ahead and make ReSharper happy. So we've got our foo filter, and for the purposes of demonstration, I'm going to add a foo filter factory. And this will just have a static method called create that will return a foo filter. And the important thing to note here is that we're just going to return null. And of course, make ReSharper happy. So here, create a filter equals foo filter factory dot create, and we will replace the with filter dot isBas and pass that in. And one final step, if we go to pass our view model in, go to the index class and or index view, then we'll just set the model to index view model. Right. Okay. So if we run this, we should see that everything's okay. So the really important thing to note here, though, is that we're never actually executing this query. Right? We're never calling toList, we're never calling toArray, we're not iterating over it. So technically speaking, this doesn't really do anything. If we were in a review and we did a for each, something like that, then it would actually execute the query, which would be fine. So there are a couple of things that are really driving this example. First is that within index view model, the foo's property is IEnumerable, which means that it doesn't necessarily have to be something that's executed like an ilist or an array or something along those lines would have to be. Secondly, is that we're not calling toLists here, or toArray, or iterating over. And lastly, within index, we're never actually using the foo property. So it's kind of easy to see how at some point within index.cshtml, how we might have some functionality and then end up deleting it later, and trying to figure out where everything is used all the time is not necessarily the easiest way to go when you're dealing with Razor files. If we run now, we should see that everything runs fine. We should be able to get to the index page without a problem. So we hit F5, this should load up, and indeed you can see that we get to the home page. Okay, great. So like I said earlier, I really like to keep a very nice clean sidebar over here, and I can see here that ReSharper is telling me something. And if I mouse over, I can see that ReSharper is telling me I can convert this to a method group. So you would assume that if ReSharper is telling you something, such as convert a lambda expression to a method group, that it would be a non-functional change. So we can go ahead and replace with the filter group. And now if we run, however, we'll get an exception. And this is where the gotcha comes in. So here we can see that we've got an argument exception. The reason why is that we've got a null filter here. So this is one of the gotchas that I discovered while trying to clean up a controller at work for a seemingly innocuous change, completely non-functional change that ended up causing a bug. This is Mike Patterson from Sleep and Wait. Hopefully you enjoyed this little gotcha demo.